Okay. Oh, wait. My face tracker was plugged into the wall still. One moment. Apparently it was turned off. Do. I have a second face tracker, but it'll take a second to set up. So for now, I'm just a really good ventriloquist. But hello! We're gonna wait for my face tracker to pull back up, and then we will be good. Official. Hi, it's me, Poison, and now my face is being tracked. Pulling up my, chat monitors too. We had, a slight issue right before stream. That issue being that, we're trying to still get our community stuff to work on our other, platform that we stream on. Let me pull that up. I have to read the chat the old-fashioned way. Sorry for not catching the live yesterday. Oh, no problem. Like I said, I do appreciate it. And if you even were thinking about me, that's also great. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the support I get. Yeah. So, hey, you may have not been here yesterday, but you're here now. And that's worth being happy for. You know it's not worth being happy for? Having to re-authenticate, things while I'm streaming. That's not very slay. I'm trying to redo my web tokens. And by that I mean basically the things that let my different software connect to my streaming platforms, which allows the connectivity that we love. But the issue has been that I'm using an older computer, so a lot of the guides are for models that are newer, and for operating systems that are not the one I'm using. Luckily, I work in IT. Unluckily, I haven't found the solution yet. But we will. We will. So that's why I'm a little bit more unprepared than I am normally. Hey, chat is back up. Hey, if you're still here, could you send a test chat message and I can see if I can read it? Thank you. It did pop up. No, I was worried because the tokens are also what my chatbot uses to read chat. And because I have issues with it in other applications, I was like, what if it's also having issues in the chat bot side, which would have been really annoying because then I have to start breaking out the programming skills, because the great thing about chatbot is that you have a lot of control over it. Bad thing is that sometimes the solution to your issue is not simple, but being able to fix a problem is sometimes worth having a little bit more complicated of a setup. It's like the difference between Windows and Mac. Mac, sometimes you're just screwed because you don't have the option to do the thing that you need to do to fix the computer. Whereas on Windows, you tend to have it a bit more. And then Linux is definitely the one that you have the most control over. However, I'm not big on Linux because I don't want the headache. I am a nerd, but I am not that big of a nerd. I wish I was, because it seems like it's really useful. Ba, ba, ba. If you saw the thumbnail, you know that today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be designing a transformation model, which we haven't done in a very long time. For those of you who aren't aware, there's a special effect I like to implement sometimes that I call a transformation effect. I'm going to go to the last model that we gave it to. Oh, you know what? This one is probably the better one to show. This is my parody of Emma Frost, Emerald Frost. And it has a special effect. Hey, you know, impressive. Honestly, my first tech job that I got, I was 18, but I did technically do tech work for a middle school teacher, and I would do her tech work that she was using to get a new job, and she would make me not have to do the algebra homework. We had a symbiotic relationship. I hate homework, and she didn't know what she was talking about. She did learn, like she actually did pick up on it, but she did apply for the job without knowing anything about how to like actually do the thing. Emerald Frost isn't transforming. I do have a set of these that don't transform and a set that does transform. And these two might be the ones that don't transform. Let's go to Poison Frost. Maybe that's where it is. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There we go. This is the one that transforms. But yeah, so I'm wanting to do a transformation model because I haven't done this in forever, and I found the perfect excuse. We were talking about the fact that Bon is more TOS friendly than Merlin, and so I was thinking about doing Bon over Merlin from Seven Deadly Sins. But I will say, chat brought up Merlin a few times, so I want to also implement Merlin. And I was like, I might have time for making two models, or I could make one model that's a twofer. And then that's where I had the idea of like, oh, what if I make the Merlin model and the Bond model the same model and I have it transform? Like this model can go from human form to like diamond form. I thought the emerald one would transform too, but I guess I never set that up. I also have a invisible poison, a model that does this, where I go from visible to invisible. But yeah, how is everyone else's day been? And I feel you on the sleepy. I have insomnia. That's one of the reasons why I like prepared my stuff. Okay, King I think might be the fake fairy king. I haven't watched Seven Deadly Sins in about 5 years. The game looks interesting and fun, and it's an IP I'm familiar with, but I don't know it like the back of my hand. I know, I know Elizabeth and the like spoiler alert with her, and then I know Meliodas and like the multiverse thing. I have a very loose understanding of the show. It's fairly good, but it is one of those shows where there's so many episodes now that it can be a bit daunting to catch up on. We have to type out like a hi, we're live for like X. Let's see. Hello. Uh, Not hello. No, my brain is still like totally not activated. Underway. I've also been having some like screen issues. I don't know what this week has decided, but I think it's the week of my tech issues. And you know what? We're just rolling with the punches. And I'm just glad you guys are all still here for me, even if I do have tech issues. Because, like, despite working in IT, I'm using really old computers. So, like, there's only so much optimization can do. And God knows I can't get a graphics card right now. Or hardly, like, any computer part. They're all, like, cost 100 times their original price. Let's see. Let's see. 7, deadly. Did I spell all of that correctly? Who knows? But we are currently live, so we're not gonna... Spell check is for people who are on time. We are putting out the message that we're live. Don't you forget about me. I hate how that song genuinely gets stuck in my head sometimes. Rickrolling myself with my constant audio playing in head. Okay. Let's go to the live scene. Oh, pull up this picture first and then go to live scene. Because this way we can show a reference. Live scene! Hi, it's me, Poison. And I don't know why I'm in the center of the screen. But we are gonna move me so that way we can see. Uh, Sprout. And yes, if you're wondering why I have this model, there was a brief moment when I mained Emma Frost, because Emma Frost was so fun. Yeah, Bon. So we're going to be combining this model and this model into one model, which is why I have like this like disheveled look. And we're going to use the same kind of techniques that we do with the diamond model that is right here in the left corner of the screen, but it's going to be slightly more advanced than what it has been in the past. Yes, Foxen. I do think it's a really good anime. Just like I think One Piece is a really good anime. And I've seen a lot of One Piece, but I've never seen the full One Piece. Like, I've skipped around arcs. That's Merlin. And one of the reasons why I wanted to combine the looks is because Merlin breaks TOS pretty, like, just flat out there for Twitch streaming. However, if I do this, like, transformation thing, I can cover up some parts that I need to cover up without it being, like, too covering for the character. And I know she has a different outfit that you can wear, that she wears, but I like to, if I'm gonna make a model based off a character, I tend to want to use their most iconic outfit, because otherwise people just won't get the reference, because her other outfit is just a side slit dress. Crazy? Question mark? But yeah, it looks crazy right now because I'm making two models on top of each other, so that way I can use dissolving effects to switch them out as I talk. But in order to do that, I need to have both outfits fully complete. I also was trying to figure out earlier today how I could take their outfits that are a little bit more on the simpler side. Oh, I thought you were saying the model looked crazy. Did YouTube block? Okay, no, it didn't. Sometimes YouTube blocks the weirdest things that I have not told it to block. Like yesterday, it was blocking the word mommy and daddy. Well, mummy and daddy. And I was very confused because I do not have those blocked. Do going to pull up downloads. I went to pull up some two reference images so I can kind of make sure I get their stuff right. It looks like I'll have to use just re-download it. There we go. But yeah, and by the way, that is official character art for the character. This, even though technically, I'm surprised that they're able to show it on so many platforms. Because that's how she's dressed in the game too. Because like at least it was during one of the beta footage that I saw. She greets the world with an open heart and even more open jacket. Okay, it's all good. I'm pretty sure we posted here. But yeah, I spent the full 10 minutes of prep time instead of getting prepped to try to fix my authenticator tokens. And I found some troubleshooting methods I might be able to use to fix them. I also have someone who I can reach out to that I haven't yet that might be able to solve my problem. Oh, okay, so Seven Deadly Sins is coming out this upcoming Sunday for PC and PlayStation, I believe. It comes out on those platforms on the 15th. Clear all. Yeah, it will come out next Sunday. Because I'm pretty sure Chinese developed game because it's Netmarble. Uh, there's a chance that it'll be actually out for us Saturday instead, because oftentimes, because like I am UTC -5, and the region that most publication happens out of China is UTC +8. So I'm 13 hours ahead, or 13 hours behind China. And so if you're on the East Coast, you're 13 hours behind China. If you're on the West Coast, you're 16 or 15 hours behind China. So if it's a Chinese release game, oftentimes we do get it early. Well, quotation marks earlier in our week. I believe that's ETC, right? Eastern Standard? Oh, I will also say we are very careful to not give too much identifiable information, so please do not be more specific than the state. Because these are VODs and everything gets like inside the VOD. Though I'm not nearly popular enough for it to be that big of a risk, I just like to make sure everyone is good. What time zone is Louisiana? Though. No, it was kind of funny though. When I first started streaming, I got doxxed so many times from ads.
Hydrate. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgled. Blur, blur, blur.
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Oh, look, it is hydrate. I'm already shining wet. Let me, yeah.
Hashtag clean poison.
Oh, okay. You're Central Time. So, okay. So you are 15 hours, well, 14 hours behind China. So if you're ever looking forward to a Chinese release game, you can expect that if it's like a morning release for them, you'll get it the night before. So hopefully they're doing a morning release for Seven Deadly Sins, so that way we can get it on Saturday. But I asked the people in the Discord, like the mods and stuff, and they said they don't have a time to give out yet. Yeah, no, most of the time, especially if it's a Japanese developed game, there's like a 70% chance it won't make it to global. I've also noticed that a lot of games that release at different times for different countries, we're going to just say games that release locally in China and then come to global months later. It started feeling like last year it was just to make the store more predatory, because like the way that like the items in the paid shop would be weaker and like cost more money than it did like in China, and how they would do bait and switch with global but not with the Chinese games. And I'm speaking this time about Crystals of Atlan. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. I'm gonna switch this model. But a few games got caught. Crystals of Atlan was just the biggest offender from my awareness. I feel like using a different model. I feel like this one, it just looks a little bit better on stream and it's easier to see. Oof. I think Grand Blue Fantasy is also one of those ones that has super long delay between local release and global. I'm glad Final Fantasy doesn't have that, to my knowledge. So the thing I am thinking is that I'm not sure if my hair needs to start on white or black, because Merlin has black hair, if I remember. Or it might be purple hair. Okay, Merlin has purple hair, which is a little easier to work with. I have the basic silhouette for both. I need to do the details. But before I do the details, I'm going to check to see how I'm doing on polygon count. Hey, Titanic! Yeah, it's dark purple with occasionally using a light purple for the highlight. Another thing to note is that the lighting environment in vroid is not real, whereas my lighting environment I use in Wardo is way closer to replicating like more realistic lighting. So everything that is bright here is going to be like, I would say 10 shades darker when put in Wardo. At least because I use my material properties to change it to realistic, like lighting interactions. Let's go here, and we're gonna just check on our polygon count. Okay, we're still well within our range. I'm curious to do Xenoblade models. Images. Oh, hey, actually, as a side note, I think these might be very possible to do in vroid. I can't remember if you're the one who plays VR chat. No, it's wait. I have one person who also has Zen in the beginning of their name, but the last part isn't the same. Oh wait, maybe that's because it's the username. But if you ever wanted to like make one of these in vroid, I think that'd be fairly doable. Something like this would be difficult because of these things that jettison out. You'd have to do those in Blender. But like a lot of these outfits, like this one, this one, this one, this one, these are all doable in vroid. And you know what? I gotta put it on the schedule. It's a big undertaking, so it's not gonna be something that I do immediately here, but whenever I have like a space and content, what I need to do is just fully make a make one of my models into a vroid model. Not vroid model, into a VR chat model. Because I want to know that process. And I also want to know how to make my models compatible with it. Because I think that might be a nice little side gig for me to like sell some like just pre-made models. Okay, we need to go to edit, start editing. Okay, and then I think my computer's gonna be mad at me for a little bit, but it's gonna have to get over it. Okay, boop do. I'm plugging in my draw pad for those of you who are just joining us. Because I did some of the mapping out of the outfit already. But now it is time for me to do the like more intricate stuff. Like adding like the details to it. I'm also gonna go ahead and take one part of the outfit off. So that way we can work on just one outfit at a time. Okay. And we're gonna work on Merlin first. Because they actually have fewer things. But they have a more complicated thing for me to blend. I'm gonna add this real fast. Mostly just sometimes even though I'm not showing anything that's against TOS, because I covered everything before stream, I've been victim to getting a strike before. Actually, I've gotten like 5 strikes from YouTube, all of which got removed like the next day. But every time I get a strike, my videos stop being shown to people for like 2 weeks, even though they take it away. Like I'm a flight risk when it comes to that. Okay. So I want to turn off this color adjuster, and I want this to actually be a different shade than the top part. Ooh, let me see what that looks like. This is also still technically the planning stage of it, which is why I'm taking plenty of like small, like intermediate breaks to like look at things. Because I love a good villain design. Okay, I don't know enough about the series to know which one of these is the main villain. This would also make a pretty good model. I see a lot of this guy. His hairstyle, I think the base part of it might be a little difficult because this part is the hardest part to me, like making your hairline blended into your scalp. Okay. So I'm assuming this one, or this one also has black hair, but let's see. Okay. This is very doable. It if you start using vroid, it's gonna seem like that shoulder blade isn't very doable. But if you saw my Emma Frost model, it has pieces that jettison out in that direction. All you gotta do is make a jacket and increase the shoulder proof, and then you can type in a custom value. Just type it to be like at maximum you can go to 300. Don't go past 300 because it breaks your like mesh. Preferably 200 is your max, but like I've made things 300 before without issue. The rule another person mentioned is like um, 3 times in either direction is your maximum. Okay. The fur is still going to be the hardest part about this outfit. And you take these away. And we're going to start with this. I'm going to pull up that picture again so I can look at it. In some pictures, she has buttons in the center, and most of them she does not. We're probably going to go with the more simplified does not. I'm going to take this. Oh, do I have a jacket material? I do. I can show it with this. So you see the red shoulders underneath the snake? Go here. If I go down to here and I take this shoulder proof, I then can like take this and then use this to straighten it out. And then I'm gonna go 300. And then I'm gonna reduce this. And there you go. Save image. And there you go. You can make that like little like arm guard thing, well shoulder guard. It may not get like the exact same silhouette. If you're willing to sacrifice the polygons, you can use volume to push it further away from you. And that will also help it raise up a bit. And so now I have this really big like arm guard. I just want to show that because it's also a good example of like how you can get different shapes in unorthodox ways. But if you are going to put a lot of things at 300, well, if you're going to use 300, limit what you put at 300 to like, because you are stretching out your polygons. And I have had that cause just load issues before. Okay, I need to hide this. And this is going to be the fur, the shorts, the jacket. She has bra. She has more of just like panties slash a speedo slash. Get what it's called for the. It's honestly she has a G-string on. I can't do that for Twitch, so we won't be doing a G-string because all content as a streamer, technically, unless you're streaming an R-rated game, it's supposed to be PG-14. Mirror. Oh, another fun little like trick. I've experienced this several times, and so now I just think it's true. The eraser cuts a more straight edge than the pen. So I like to put a bunch of color down and then erase it back. I'm gender fluid. So like I go by any pronoun. No, it is funny because I've had people try to aggressively try to misgender me, and it's funny because I'm like, you can't. Because I'm fine with being whatever. My presence here is virtual. Let's see. I don't know why I'm doing that so slowly. Let me just. I will also add that in person and like on phone calls, I get well, like not as much as in person, but whenever I'm during my marathon running season, or like when I'm like exercising, my body does tend to lean towards an hourglass figure. Oh yeah, no, you're good. We have this policy for the stream that um, if you cross a boundary, I'll just let you know. It's not a big deal. The only time it's a big deal is if you're being aggressive. Because I don't mind questions. I grew up with autistic parents and an autistic brother. I was just diagnosed with ADHD. Psychologist says I'm more than likely also have autism. But because of that, I'm very much a social cues are not important to me. And I understand that there's lots of people out there that are terrible at reading them. So I just prefer being direct. That way people don't have to guess and worry about things. Also, most of my friends in university, because I led the largest board game club in my university, and most of those people are neurodivergent. Most of them. I like not to diagnose you just because you play a board game, but I have noticed a heavy trend, not statistical because I didn't do the numbers, but if I did the numbers in my head right now, there was over 1,000 members, and I personally knew 300 of them. And of the 300, about 250 were neurodivergent of some type. Yeah. No, one of the reasons that like I have ADHD and I also have insomnia. So what I used to do very frequently is what I called insomnia streams. Those were my very first like 12-hour streams because I have insomnia as well as the ADHD, which lots of people with ADHD have insomnia. So it tracks. But that being said, it means that I am often up when other people aren't. And so I had the idea to do insomnia streams because I'm like, if I'm up and by myself, there's other people who are experiencing that too. So let me just keep each other company. Do. Oh, I haven't done my Worthing Waves dailies, so I'll have to do that at some point too. My friend oftentimes asks, yeah, coffee does help me fall asleep. There's like I can hit a max saturation point with caffeine where it will help keep me up. However, if I just drink one of a caffeine, like say a ghost, a coffee, like a singular beverage of caffeinated variety, I will end up passing out, like sleep, knocked out. That is a that is when I try to. So typically I try to end stream after like 3, 4 hours. And then if I have shorts already made, I'm in bed around that same time. If I don't have shorts already made, sometimes it pushes it a little bit later. I work IT as my day job, so I have a little bit of flexibility when it comes to schedule. And I work IT as my day job right now, even though my degree is a science degree, because right now my field of science, which is like environmental development and engineering, with especially in biostats, is not exactly flourishing in this current climate. Pun intended. I like to use the dress for a tailcoat so that way it flaps better, because the actual coat does not have good movement. Okay. But because I'm going to do transformations, the goal here is to do it in as few like stages as possible. It might be from this. Yeah. I'm just going to do a new layer here, so that way I don't have to worry about this. Oh, wait, this should be white. We're going to create like a fuzzy effect using additive properties and a normal map. Yeah, no, that's why I'm like out of it today. Is like I laid down and I think I slept for about 3-ish hours, and I just tried to lay down for as long as I could. Um, but did I really sleep? Not really. And it's hard to even say like how much of that 3 hours was sleep. And how much of it was me just staring at the ceiling. that. I want to move this up. Can I? I cannot. Okay. Erase. There we go. Oh, yeah, by the way, one of the reasons why I constantly use the female models and I don't switch between the male and female models in vroid is I use something that is a blend shape transfer, and it just for some reason works better with the female models in vroid. Also, Miku Miku Dance doesn't always read male vroid models correctly. Now, if you're just doing like one or two or like a core model, it's not that big of an issue. But because I make so many models, it becomes an issue pretty quickly. It's also nicer for me to have one workflow instead of several. Okay. Let's see. I feel that. So what doesn't help is that because I was a post grad, like it's encouraged to like work almost all hours of the night. And before as post grad, I worked for Blizzard. Like before I went back to college, I worked for Blizzard, and I worked the graveyard shift. So I've had like external like things cause me to be rewarded for being able to be up late. I'm gonna make this very rounded. And I'm gonna use this darker shade to kind of blend the bottom part in with this. I'm gonna minimize this, because I only need these two. I am gonna just another thing to note is that I use vroid to put down the base colors, but then for a lot of the finer detail work, if it needs to like have like a hem or something, I'll use Clip Studio. Krita's also good. That's what I used to use. I like Krita. Okay, if I don't have a draw pad, I kind of like using Krita more than Clip Studio. But if you have a draw pad, I prefer Clip Studio. Just in here. I need this to connect here. I'm probably going to add some gradients to this too. One of the complicated things is like if I do the thing I want to, which is the transformation. Yeah, Blizzard has an Overwatch. So sorry I missed that. Um, yes, Blizzard as an Overwatch, as in World of Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft. Um, I worked for them when Activision was still letting them be Blizzard without the Activision. Like they were technically Blizzard Activision, but Activision wasn't really like telling them what to do. Okay, so my username is oftentimes Poison Oaks, uh, and then I suggested my friend, because I'm doing Poison Oaks, for them to do Harvey Quinn because they're more masculine identifying. Well, they identify as a guy. I don't know why I phrased it in that weird way, but yeah, they identify as a guy. So it's like, ooh, what about Harvey Quinn instead of like Harley Quinn? Um, and then once they named a character Harvey Quinn, uh, let me show. I sent them this image. It was probably something super mean for me to do. Oh, it's no longer the #1 search when you search it. Darn. It's a really funny meme. Oh, here it is. So I convinced them to use Harvey Quinn. And then after they named the character this, I didn't let them level it. I just let them make a character with the name. Steve Harvey Quinn. I think that's the first time they've been disappointed in me. Not the last, but certainly one of the first. Yeah, I love the original Harley Quinn too. Uh I like the Poison Ivy version of her. If I'm talking about Batman universe centering Batman, I prefer Harley Quinn with the Joker as like that package deal. But if we're talking individual wise, I prefer Harley Quinn whenever she had her like her independence. But yeah, no, I got them all set up to have a like twinning name with me just to ruin it. But listen, if I didn't say it, someone else would because it was a little bit of a popular meme when I suggested it, but they just didn't know it was. I need to make this darker. I'm gonna do this. So I want this to kind of go side. Again, a little bit lighter here. No, not like that. That's not gonna work that way. The goal is for me to bring this closer to each other simply so that way I can avoid um, getting flagged. Do I want to have this super closed in? No, I really like Merlin's style. She's one of the characters in Seven Deadly Sins where I feel like she has some really strong style choices. Just gonna blur that. A note, transparency does not show up in vroid. It's either opaque or not. So when you have like this little transparency here, it's not going to show up in vroid, like on the model. And then let me grab this, and then I'm gonna make this brush smaller. See? But see how that's still transparent over here, but isn't over here? When you export it, transparency will matter, but in vroid, it will just make things look messy a lot of the times, which is why it's good to like put it into another program and clean it up after. Okay. Uh, what is causing that mess? Cutting. So it's this. I think. I'm going to erase that and then come down to this one. And where I erased on that one, I want to add like super, super dark to kind of act as like a semi-color. Because technically, if I'm looking at the outfit here, it's not really trying to get it to where TOS I can use it. It's not really like that great as far as like as a jacket. It's more of a robe that's open and not so much a jacket. It has the cut of a jacket, but the center part is like a robe because you can't actually clasp it close. So I will do this and kind of have this be a clasp just to make the outfit make sense in my head. And then I want to take like silver, stop the mirroring, and I'm gonna put this on this side. I think that's a string. Yeah. Although I actually can use that. Because that comes off the outfit. So if I use that to make, say, the button, and then like on the other side, like a little loop chain, that's gonna do very nicely. And it'll look good once I do the materials on it too. But that's going to be something that gets a metal material, so I don't really need to worry about coloring it very well, because the metal materials, once you color them, if you did a lot of shading works, some of it's wasted because you're going to replace the top layer with a different like texture. I want to take that same kind of silvery color. I have to zoom in really close. And I want to take this and go like this. Nice. I don't have a lot of control over the drawstring specifically, which is probably why I never thought to do this before. But yeah, we're gonna make those two things metal, so that way it can clasp together there. Let me go ahead and make these thigh highs the correct color. And the way that they do her jacket is kind of flat shaded with just a hard outline. And I can do that too. I can add an outline to this outfit, but I want to know how it looks here first before I do that. So we're going to add a outline on the inside, but not outside. And what I mean by that is like something like here is going to get an outline, and we're going to drag it down to make it make sense. But I might not do like an outline on this side. Like how I have the shading here. Do, do, do. Oh, that I should check that. This moves very different from the top, so I need to make sure that this comes up to the right spot so it stays blended. Poison, do this. Let's do walking. Okay, need to fill that out. We're getting there. We're gonna want the tail end to come to a point. Let's see. Outfit, spin around, because we gotta fix that. Okay. Go to this. I'm curious as to where that is. Oh, there's one. Oh, whoops. That's gonna cause a lag. There. I accidentally did a shortcut key. Um, okay, so that's not there. Let's go over to here. Oh yeah, and you good? I think I said bye way too late. That's the problem sometimes about when I do the art streams, is that I do get really focused in on what I'm working on. So I hope people do sometimes know that it's not that I'm ignoring, it's that I'm just locked in. And it's not like I'm doing something super hard here. I'm locking in the sense that I'm trying to think of the next step for what I'm doing. Okay. I do know that this is going to be largely cutting the dress. Well, not dress, but cloak. So I need this to cover the hips because Twitch is silly about those. So the jacket part or this part needs to cover the hips. If I have it come forward just a bit more before it spins around the side, that might work. Like closer to here. Okay. For TOS purposes, I am making a video game character. That means that this is got different rules than if I was making a VTuber model. Yes, TOS is that specific for VTubers. But I actually do program games occasionally, so it's not inaccurate to say that I could use this in a game. Where is... Okay. I'm gonna go to this layer, this layer. For this part, I do have to draw on this section. I need to come down to like here. And I don't, and this part can act as a little bit of a shelf, because that's the chest. There we go. Gonna be messy at first. Bonds is a lot easier. The thing that's making this outfit harder is keeping in mind what Twitch is going to require me to cover and how Twitch wants me to cover it. Even though technically my persona is a creature, so it's not actually human, it's a genetic mutation or genetic mutant. That's right, I read all of TOS, so I knew all the loopholes to say. No, I do. One of the reasons why I read the TOS though specifically is because as a VTuber artist who sometimes makes models for other people, I don't want to give someone a model that's going to get them banned. That very much goes against like just my moral guidelines. Okay, do this. And I want this to be thinner. Something like this. Oh, okay. So it's coming to right there. What's the length of this set to? I'm going to set it to 200. I should hide my ponytail because if I'm working on the back of the model, it's going to be really hard to see if I have this in the way constantly. just to save. Which will cause my program to lag, which is okay. A tornado blew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made, it usually doesn't rain and... No, yeah, I almost took today off to like work on tech issues, but it's like, Wednesday's off and I'm gonna be streaming Sunday, which means I don't typically stream Friday if I stream Sunday and vice versa. So I didn't want to like remove any stream days from the week. Edit. And we're gonna just hide all of this. This way it's not in the way. And I'll just add it, I'll unhide it when I move it out. Noting that because the hair is covering this section, I'm not gonna worry about what is in this area too much outside of for this specific thing. Because if it's gonna be behind something like this, and if it's gonna be my back too, I don't want to waste too much time with it. Even though I do make my models to be seen from 360 degrees, they are not often seen like that. Okay. Eraser. I think I like how that looks. Oh no. Death becomes her. Oop. I think we'll actually go ahead and just line this. I want a little bit more of the purple. There we go. And then I think I will use this to line the bottom part too. Okay. I need to zoom in. I also need to remind myself right here that a large portion of this is going to be just covered over when I do material effects. So don't spend too much time getting everything the perfect shade. especially because when it comes to like editing a texture, I can do that in Unity also. Okay, erase. I needed this to come more to a dramatic turn. Okay, let's see. Ooh, that actually works perfectly, that this flips in underneath. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. And then we're gonna do a suspension of disbelief moment. Because once again, this is a stream model slash definitely video game model. So I'm gonna need the fabric on the underneath side. I just need this to come really close together. Okay. This. Like that. Let's see, this should have a little bit of give. There we go. Okay. Start now. And triangles. So this is just looking like sweat right now. Just gonna blend this the old-fashioned way. By old-fashioned, I mean just like, I'm not gonna put it in Clip Studio first. I do kind of wish this was hugging me a little bit more. Kind of like that. But that does make it to where I need to adjust this. This. Right now, this is so messy. Let's see. I might see what my sleeve options are. Crease 200. 150. So 100 really is the max there. Negative 200. Negative 2, 2, 2. This, I want to erase this. Which side is that? Oh, it's skin masked, that's why. Mostly just need that. Because I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about the skin mask for Bon. Because his is all tight in the right spots and big in the others. I'm gonna use skin mask so I can hide this. See. Hello, Silver Sun. I hope you're doing well. We are doing decent. We're just working on getting the groundwork set up for, I'm gonna do a Vtuber model that transforms between Merlin and Bon. Because they're my favorite characters from Seven Deadly Sins. I think I should erase this, because it's making things complicated up top. And then keep this. Try to keep this all on one layer. I'm gonna have this go there. Yeah, because Seven Deadly Sins, the game, comes out this Sunday, possibly Saturday night. Okay. this. Nice. Line. Because of the way that I decided to do this, I think these models I probably could have finished by themselves a lot quicker. But I haven't done a model that transforms live in like, I'm not sure how long. I'm looking bulky. I know it will thin down a little bit. And also might be the background blending in with everything. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, but for the most part, this has been more of like a chill day. We're looking forward to taking a bit of a break tomorrow. Because we have been like making a lot of content lately. Clip this, new layer, and we'll put this layer underneath. And it just needs to be a layer that like puts the color down there. You just don't have to worry about transparency. I think part of the thing that's making them look bulky is probably these sleeves. Could I do like 150? Or is that gonna show skin? Okay, that doesn't show any skin. Or at least any way that like I can't skin mask. Yay. I still need to do my Northern Waves dailies. Two. I have the Halo song now stuck in my head because I did the boo boo boo, which makes me think of the da 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 do 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 do. Clip this. Where is that located? There it is. I don't need to be that big. And then just gonna We can do this a little sloppily. I mean, this is also a test run model, so like, if I end up needing to remake it, that's not the worst. There's worse things than having to remake a model. It does feel weird having to like have this cut for shorts, so I might cut them a little differently. Just gotta do this first. If I make them more Daisy Duke cut, that might help. Zoom in here, and we're gonna mirror this new layer, because I'm gonna start using my blend tools a little bit more frequently. You shouldn't do that on the base layer. Blend. Erase. Blend. Then I'm gonna duplicate this layer and then merge it with itself just to increase the opacity. Merge down. I don't think she has like really any embellishments other than the white fur. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is kind of like maybe add white detailing to different spots. Just so we can kind of continue the color story. Let's go like that. Thank you. No, I like Merlin too. New layer. Okay, I'm just gonna use this layer to kind of add that color that's supposed to be. Oop, not that. Blend. I will say now the shorts look more like realism than the upper part, but that's fine. The upper part's gonna get its own thing later. Okay, now let's go down to the shoes. And to fix this, I just need to do this. Because right now it's too bright. Close. we're gonna temporarily make the hair black. Because I think if I do like the purpley tones, it's gonna look good with the burgundy. But there's makeup I could do for the red that won't look good with the purple. Like this would look good on either or. But we're probably gonna need to go for like, we might just do like a crimson lip. I don't need to change it too much. Yeah, I need to catch up on it. That's kind of my goal to do like Wednesday, and as I work on the like this model, like is to start watching Seven Deadly Sins again. Color collab. I want to bring this down to like a rosy red. Skin, face paint. I am going to color collaborate this. Um, the way that I have this done, I won't be able to use color collaboration. But that's okay. Mirror. We're gonna kind of do that puffy eye makeup. Eyelids. And match the eyeshadow to the lip. Yeah. This down. Ooh, I can have this be the white. And by doing that, I'll be able to like have this change colors too. But for now, I'm just gonna have it be black because we're needing it to be more of neutral tones. I'm gonna take this and just go like this. Yeah, there's so much for me to catch up on. It's almost a little intimidating to try to like go for it. Okay, and then hairstyle. Edit. I just want to go through these, and we're just gonna add a base color, and we're just gonna make them black. Well, dark purple. Just for a moment so I can see what this looks like. Is it this one? Yeah. reveal my hair. I wish I could click all, but I cannot. I have to go through each one and click. Also, I've wanted to do a model that can switch between genders ever since I started watching Hell's Paradise. Then you go from here. Let me go back to the eyebrow so I can just make it dark. That's looking good. Yeah, I'd say that works. I need to line this up. Edit, start editing without saving. Just Control-C, mirror tool. Which layer is that on? Start on that layer. I need it to do what it's doing currently, so I don't have too much leeway here on like how to get creative, because I need it to not break any rules. I'm gonna grab this. And I want to make the butt look bigger. I'm gonna do that by kind of putting shadow underneath the cheek area. And then highlight here. This. Undo. Erase. I should probably add like a belt. That is not right. A little awkward how it dips up. I'd like to take the silver that's right here, and I'm going to add the silver down here. I didn't realize it was like this. Oop. Mm, like that. This. There we go. That's better. I'm not gonna worry about the detail on the back part of the, like, those strap things here. Oops, just focus on making sure that this looks good, because the back's gonna be partially covered. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave the snakes or if I'm going to switch it for something else. I debated just having the snakes change colors to match whichever person is at the forefront. Shoes. I'm going to increase the heel. Negative 20. Negative 40. There we go. And then scroll up here. Just a little bit of a platform. And we've almost finished with this one. I just need to carve this a little bit. Oop, that was more than a little bit. That. Doot, 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 doot. I think that needs to be adjusted also. Now, where is that? Oh, that's where that's from. I still have mirror tool on. I can make edits, but I do think this is, for the most part, where it should be. There we go. The fur won't be as glorious as her fur. It'll be pretty decent. Lift it off just a little bit more. Oh, I didn't even notice that. But if I did this, I saw that there's like inside the hood. So I need to take an eraser. Just zoop. Unless that's on the other side. I don't think it is. It is. Okay. I see. Let me just erase this a little bit. This hoodie's gonna make it a little annoying to do my like hair physics. Because it's gonna need like something to stop my hair from going through it. Okay. Skin mask. This one. What, 2 hours? Go ahead and skin mask this. I can't remember if Bon has like a claw or not. So I know he's the fox. Oh no, he's uses an unchuck. Okay. Then we go to this. And we hide this part. And then we edit Bon's outfit. But I do think it's going to be a lot easier because I don't have to worry as much about TOS violations. don't know if I'll get fully to it. I'm hoping I'm not gonna have clipping issues. If I will, I'll just have to not have any critical physics at all. I'm gonna do like the bare minimum for this part. Take this off. Just gonna take this. Okay, then I'm gonna take this. Too high. Yeah, I should. This is way too high up. This needs to come up to like here. Because I should be able to see abs. It looks like it sometimes is lower, but I think higher might serve my purpose more. Is this outfit lined? Not really. But I think I might line it just because it will look more consistent with the other outfit. And I need to make this collar more short. That's too short. Collar seam. Have it sag just a little bit, but not that much. Erase. Erase. Because I do think I want it to be further back, like here. Okay, and now here's where I need to use like super square shading. If I want it to read the way I want it to read. It'd be right here. In worst case scenarios, I just make a different type of shading. Do also need to make sure it's flat. And I'm gonna make the waist a lot tighter. I believe I'm gonna need the corseted. Yeah. I need this to be not like that. There we go. Okay, full collar seam. I'm gonna get rid of the collar sag though. Then I need shoulders. Shoulder padding. Let's see these. Shoulder seam. Heavy on that one. I'm gonna put this in negative 20. Just to create a little bit more of like a thing there. Sleeve. I need tightness. I don't see. I guess I'll just have to type in a negative number for thickness. Negative 50. That is too far. Negative 15. Negative 5. There we go. Sleeve roll up. Shorter, longer. Just a bit shorter. Okay. Shoes. I believe it's actually the same cherry red on top and bottom. Erase. I do want to have it go lower in the center. But not that big of a gradient. Okay, yeah, and his pants doesn't have like a belt, but we might give them a belt anyways. Nope. And do New layer. Blend. Let's erase. I wonder what I could use the stamp tool for that they added. Let's see. Okay, and then we got this. There we go. Do just yeah, because I think this needs to kind of just be like a different color. I need to look at pants because I have forgotten how pants are supposed to be. Doot. Do, 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 do. I'm just gonna like do like a round button here. Do. And then these are supposed to be pretty tight too. Tighten crotch. I'm gonna actually reverse this. -20. -50? -200. I think that's a hole in the texture, not where I'm having clipping. Yeah. I have one last thing to check. If I have to choose one, I'm choosing the top for it. So I'm gonna duplicate this because I want to put the little studs. I don't know what this will put me at for polygon count. Export. Oh, I'm still fine. I'm still debating what I want to do for this. I thought possibly a pig, but a long pig is not a thing. Oh, wait, I think there is a part where there's like a bunch of different sized pigs. I don't know if like anything that might relate to the Bon and Merlin that is long and slithery. Okay, so that's the polygon count increase for that. What's the polygon increase if I do this? Because preferably I'd like to have studs on top and bottom. Okay. Export VRM. Okay, nice. So I'll be able to do both. Unless it's possibly... It might be because I have the other textures hidden, actually. Let me reveal those and make sure that that's not the case. But I have don't delete invisible textures, so this shouldn't affect it. Exit, close. Uh, do, 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 do. Export, export VRM. Okay, so having them hidden did actually change my polygon count. That's good to know. I'm gonna clean up the fingers here, and then we'll probably call this a good stopping point, because the next part is me just throwing studs on the edge of everything and adding some little bits of lines of details here and there. Let's see, got that. Edit. It's here. And now I just need to go through each one of these and just erase where it's going over the finger. Erase. I forgot to have this on mirror mode. I think that is on the skin. There we go. Okay, all cleaned up. No, this is gonna look very chaotic for probably the initial stages. Okay, close. And then I'm going to save it, and then we're going to play just a little bit of Wuthering Waves before we sign off. Okay. I do think we'll end the YouTube side of stream already. It's sitting at like 0 people. So if you're on YouTube, we're going to be over on Twitch for the last like couple minutes. But before I head out to just be on the Twitch side, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you all and can't wait to see you all in future streams. You can expect to see progress on this model tomorrow. And I probably, if I don't finish it on Wednesday, which I should like not try to finish it, then we'll do the shaders on Thursday. So stepping the good night, YouTube.